no one gonna bring us down. 3 points up and then 1 down. You talk a lot, I don't see you round. Saturday mornings when I hear the sound, I say, hey, hey. I live for them away day. Feeling half cut on Sunday. My girl, she left me by Monday. I said, hey, hey. You hear the sound of the UK. When lions sing, we get crazy. Oh, I live for them away day.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Party Football Podcast. We'll be looking forward to matchweek 25 in the Premier League. Do get involved down in the comments. Let us know your predictions for this weekend. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as it really does help us out. So, lads, Brentford versus Liverpool, first game of the game week. The early games, Jurgen Klopp doesn't like the early games, but there's always something wrong with them. Brentford, in the last 2 home games against Liverpool, have scored 3 goals against them in each of the last 2. So, Johnny, starting with you, can you see it going the same way?
I can see Brentford scoring, okay, all right. Whether or not I see them winning, I don't think so. I think Liverpool on a really good run at the moment. So I got obviously caught in the hop by Arsenal. Probably that last game had a really good time for them. Made them restructure, have a look again, and put themselves back together. But I do see it to be a very difficult game. It's not easy to go away to Brentford and pick up a result, especially with Brentford with Tony back. So I think it'll be a very good game, very competitive game. I do think Liverpool win, but there will be goals.
Yeah. Rob, Liverpool have only kept 1 clean sheet in the last Premier League games. So like I said, Brentford have scored 3 in their last 2 home games. So it's not good reading for Liverpool.
Yeah, but how many of the last 2 games have they won though? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, just go back on what you said in the intro about Jurgen Klopp. He kind of has a point though. Liverpool get nearly all the half-score kickoffs.
That is a strange one. And why they haven't explained why.
I was listening to who was it, Gary Neville on Sky Sports the other day after the United game, and he was saying he said it's more beneficial for teams to play first and early because then there's no pressure on you. So because obviously City and Arsenal are the chasing pack, he said it's easier for teams to play first. And you get your win and you set the precedent for the weekend, and then other teams are chasing you.
Yes and no, because
that's the mentality thing. If you're looking at physicality wise,
yeah, it's I don't know. I think they've got probably definitely more than their fair share. This is easily what they're 7th or 8th of the season. Like, they're always fucking playing early. It's a nice early kickoff to have, and not someone like Palace or Fulham rotting it up, stinking it up. Brentford, Liverpool. I think it's a good way to start the weekend. Liverpool's attack this season was always going to be the big point. We were saying it since the first week that their attack is just, killing them. It's destroying teams, because they'll always go 1 down and then just put 3 past them. Yeah. That's how Liverpool have been the last few years anyways. The whole thing hasn't really been about clean sheets, despite all of the whole thing of Van Dijk being one of the greatest ever defenders, all that kind of crack.
Yeah.
It's all about outscoring.
Yeah, right. So, Johnny, predictions. So, you predicted Liverpool win.
I would say 3-2 Liverpool.
3-2, Rob?
I want to see Liverpool, but the United fan in me wants something else, which would be 2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford. Yeah, probably. I'd like to see Liverpool top points, obviously, in the title race. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. Hopefully, Brentford at home will be a tricky fixture for them. All right, then, Turf Moor next. Burnley at home to Arsenal, lads. Arsenal have only lost 1 game at Turf Moor. Ever since the 2 started playing each other in the Premier League. And Arsenal off the back of a really impressive 6-0 win off West Ham. Rob, start with you. They'll take huge confidence, Arsenal, from the last couple of games. Unbeaten in 2024, won every game. Banging in goals.
Yeah, after a rocky period in December, kind of November time, after not being able to hit maybe 3rd gear all season, to now hitting probably 4th and 5th gear over the last 2 games, dominating Liverpool. The scoreline completely flat. Liverpool. But 6-0 and rightfully 6-0 against West Ham. They're looking good again, which is good for the league. Not having the 2 hateful cunts fighting out for the title in City and Liverpool. Surely the writing is on the wall for Burnley. They are popping up with the odd goal against the bigger teams like Liverpool and City, but they're known to concede anyways. Burnley had chances though against Liverpool, so Arsenal are much stronger, obviously, than in the midfield and defence than Liverpool. I surely, I don't know, it's annoying. I want to say clean sheet for Arsenal anyways. And hopefully a big win. But we just like that Baldy prick Vincent Company to go and undermine Arsenal just for City. Like.
Yeah. Johnny, Rob touched on it there. Arsenal's best defense in the league. Something that Arsenal under Arteta, after the last 2 years especially, have really got themselves to be really hard to beat. They shoot themselves in the foot a lot with some of the goals they concede. But yeah, like it's just hard to see Burnley just in the form they're in. Like Rob said as well, like they do kind of come up with a goal against the bigger teams, but it's kind of hard to see them getting anything from this game.
Oh yeah, like they come up with a goal, it'll still be 4-5-6-1. Like that's what makes this Arsenal team different from the other teams we've seen over the past maybe 20 years. Is that bit of solidness, that bit of steel that they've introduced in the back line. That's what, like, Arsenal were always able to play football. There was never the issue with Arsenal, but they always had a weak core. For 20 years, towards the end of Wenger and all through the rest. Maybe for a while under Emery, they put that right. But this time now, Arteta is set about that, and he's done a really good job of it, making them really, really solid. And I feel like it would have to be an Arsenal mistake for Burnley to score this weekend. I know all this talking up we're giving it. It'd probably be 1-1 draw, board draw. But this Burnley team, I don't think can even do that. Remember when Burnley were last in the league? You could go to Turf Moor and say, geez, they could do us. Like,
yeah.
What happened to us? It happened to us. We were bet 1-0 by Burnley. And we all thought that was the day Ollie was going to get sacked, not to go to United. But we've seen it so many times when Burnley, that's how bad this Burnley team is. You go to Turf Moor, there's zero fear. There's nothing there, really. So I can't see anything other than Arsenal continuing this hot streak that they're on, really showing that they're, like I said, I think a few weeks ago, they're really good chasers. So now that the fire is on, they know the two guys are there to chase it ahead of them to put the afterburners on, and we've seen how far they can go. But I can see only Arsenal continuing this hot streak.
Right, yeah, okay, go with predictions there. So you're going Arsenal.
4-1 Arsenal.
4-1. Rob?
We'll go 5-star Arsenal this time.
5-star. Okay, yeah, I'm hoping to keep a clean sheet, but obviously that goal difference, we're all, I think there's Liverpool's on plus 32 and us and Man City on plus 31, so goal difference might be a huge thing down the line. So clean sheet most of all, but yeah, maybe 2-3, hopefully. All right then, Craven Cottage up next. Fulham at home to Aston Villa. Rob, start with you. Aston Villa's form, we talked so much about their home form. They were impeccable, but they've lost 3 on the bounce at home. And their away form, we talked about, hasn't been anywhere near the standards anyways. This could be a tricky game for them.
Aston Villa will be craving a positive result with this one. Look, delighted for Villa because I think they won the title back in November. I think the reports will have, judged by everyone's reaction. Now they'll be lucky to get top 4, which a few of us have said it was mostly us kind of brainwashed United fans. Still think they're a good team, like not a really good team, maybe a very good team that were probably doing better than they should have been. A really good home run, but I don't know what it is that's killing them. Like, is it tired legs? Is it just that people are used to them? Are they just getting unlucky? It's hard to pinpoint it. They definitely started conceding a lot more goals anyways. Ollie Watkins, as good as he's been this season, it goes through stages of maybe 3 or 4 games where he doesn't score. And then he'll just score lumps him again. And that's what's making him look so good. Like, we're going game week 25. He does only have about, 10 goals in the league, which is still okay. And 11 assists. But, like, they're coming together. Like, how many games has he scored and assisted in? Like, it's not as if he's doing it separate games. So, interested in Leon Bailey. I think he needs to start against Fulham. Then they can just fuck right off, to be honest. But I'd be happy with a Fulham positive result there. Yeah.
Just quickly adding to that, Johnny, 19 games at Craven Cottage. Villa have only won 3 times in the Premier League. So this doesn't look too good for Villa fans. Like, John McGinn came out and said that they played well against United, but just didn't get the result. And sure, that's the business, but it's all about results. So, like I said, Fulham are off the back of a 3-1 win against Bournemouth, the game that I thought they would probably struggle in, but they were pretty comfortable. So yeah, it could be a very tricky game.
massively tricky. With the run Villa are on at the moment, you can't really back them whatsoever. Against it, they played very well. I didn't think they played that well. You know, so it's different. God, you know, and Fulham have been that way all season. They've come up with a couple of really big results and then been shocking, and then back again with a couple of results and been shocking. Like that was a great result at the weekend. However, the way Fulham's season has gone, I could see a Villa win here just more so because of Fulham and how inconsistent they have been. So you might look at it that way and say, oh, do you know what? Maybe it's not the worst game for Villa to get their hands on 3 points again and steady the ship. Yeah. I think they're not used to being in this position. The legs probably are tired, but then it's being a victim of your own success as well. You start off that hot. People are going to expect you to be there. So all of a sudden, it might be a bad thing for them. If they don't finish fourth, they bottle it. But I mean, if they finish sixth, I don't think it's a bad season for them. And like this is only early saying it yet. You don't know. There's a lot of twists and turns left this season.
Like they still have what, a 6-point lead on United? Or is it 5 points now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's not just United. You're looking at Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs as well. Spurs, there you go.
You know, so maybe Newcastle is still tripping around there. So look, there's a lot of football to be played, and none of us are saying, "Oh yeah, this is it for Villa." But
there's a long way left.
Historically, you know, it does matter. And okay, we say one season doesn't matter to the next. It does matter, if you've done it before. It definitely accounts to you more than it doesn't, we'll say. So the fact that United have cut down leads before to make a top four, as have Spurs, Villa might think there might be better chasers than actually trying to keep a spot. And maybe teams have figured them out a small bit.
Yeah. So, all right. So predictions, Johnny.
1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Rob.
It's a tough one, you know. I think Villa will get back to 1-1. I said 2-1 Villa.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. 2-1 Villa. I just think, John, like Johnny said, just nailed it on the head. Just Fulham, you just don't know what team are going to show up, and
there's certain
who knows? But there's just that inconsistency with them. All right, lads. Up next, St James's Park, Eddie Howe's derby, Newcastle versus Bournemouth. Newcastle last time out, 3-2 winners against away to Nottingham Forest. They're going through this period of scoring lots of goals but conceding lots of goals. And Rob, starting with you, like Bournemouth have kind of hit bit of a slump recently. They had some tough games, against Liverpool. We've seen them last week get away to Fulham as well, lost 3-1. They're kind of on a bit of a downward slope. This could be a good game for Newcastle, kind of cement their back-to-back wins, I guess.
Yeah, getting Newcastle back on track. By no means though will Bournemouth lie down and take it like they were taking it at the start of the season. It's a very interesting one because Newcastle just can't seem to get a grip on any of their games anymore.
Yeah,
and it's entertaining to watch as an outsider, because you don't know how like what's going to happen. Like obviously that's football anyways, but with them it just seems to be an extra little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
The injuries that they have are due to that as well. They can't seem to get their normal, like any sort of 11 together properly, consistently. Bournemouth won't be too afraid though with the goals that Newcastle are conceding, and how Bournemouth generally attacks. I think they'll be okay. Okay.
Johnny, Newcastle 3 wins in 10 games. Bournemouth no wins in their last 5 games. Kind of the same tale of two teams who are as bad as each other right now. So this game could go either way.
Yeah, two teams in dire need of putting together some sort of streak. The Newcastle of last season, we're kind of expecting more of them. At the same time, this is still a relatively poor squad. They overachieved last season. I think it's really important to match that to bring that point home. They overachieved. So when we're looking at this Newcastle team, we have to also look at the quality of the squad that's there. It's not very high quality whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you look at the ping pong games they're having. That's not massively a surprise because they have such high quality in areas and such low quality in others. With Bournemouth, they've had a fantastic season.
Mm-hmm.
They were always going to hit a low streak. That patch they were on from mid-10 November through Christmas was really, really good to hit a real hot streak. But they were always going to have a lull period. That's just the quality of the team. They are a poor team. But I do expect if Solanke is fit and he's ready to go, I do expect him to grab a goal this weekend. I think this will be a very close game. and really it's a game of two teams in dire need of getting back into a bit of form.
Yeah. Right. Predictions.
Where is this game? Sorry.
It's in St James's Park, Newcastle.
It's in St James's Park. I will give the benefit, although Newcastle haven't been fantastic there at times this season, I would say Newcastle 2-1.
Rob?
I think another high-scoring game, 3-2 to Newcastle.
Yeah, I think, both teams will score. High-scoring game. I'd say, I think probably 2-2 game. I just think, Newcastle are just at the minute, there's just something about them at the minute. They're just not that the team that they used to be.
They're just very shaky, aren't they? Or zero confidence.
Obviously, the injuries they have doesn't help, but, still going to get results. So next up, Nottingham Forest can be home to West Ham, lads. We've seen, obviously West Ham at home to Arsenal last week, lost 6-0. It was an awful performance. We've seen them against United, and at the game at home to Bournemouth, they were just shocking, just so flat, so devoid of idea, of energy. Like there was just nothing going right with them. This is going to be a very, very tricky game for them. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, 2 points above relegation. They need to pick up a result. Rob, start with you there. Yeah, this is another tough game. It's going to be hard to call. You just don't know. I think Nottingham Forest, will be. They need more out of this game, so they'll be more fired up than West Ham. Although they're going to be wanting to rectify last week's rectify the results and try and get a win under their belt.
Yeah, there's no easy games at all, especially when you're someone like West Ham. Maybe if you're sitting against Forest, you're thinking it might be a tad bit easy, but for West Ham, no such thing as an easy game. But this will be ones that will be as close to it as they can get.
Yeah.
Poor form, but they've done that so many times this season. They're dominant in their first 5 or 6 games this season, then a horrible downward slope, and it went straight back up again, and now they're gone back again. So it's just a yo-yo club this season.
Johnny, as bad as West Ham have been, they're 5 points behind United, 10 points off Aston Villa in 5th. They're still fighting for European places.
Yeah, you kind of have to, but West Ham fans, I'm not sure, what are you expecting? Every other week they're sacking David Moyes. It's well, make a decision and go with it. I can understand it's an embarrassing loss at home to Arsenal, and look, we've all been on the end of a couple of whoopings in a derby. No one likes it, but at the same time, you could still end up having a really good season here. Still, and you have been, but that's how they have been. If you look back to the last couple of years, they have been parts of the season very, very poor. Parts of the season very, very good. So this is no different really to any of the past couple of seasons under David Moyes. I don't think they're also not in a bad position. Like you said, 6 points off Man United. What was it? Sorry, you said 10 off Villa in 4th place.
10 off in 5th place. 10 points off Villa in 5th. Yeah.
In 5th. So that's not the worst place in the world to be, especially if you're going through a bit of a poor patch.
And they still are going strong in Europa League as well. You see last season, obviously the European form maybe took its toll on the league. They finished 14th last season. But
if you ask any of them fans,
Conference League.
If you ask any of them fans, did they care where they finished last season? No, they do. They fuck.
As long as they get relegated.
They save this season. If they even get to a semi-final in the Europa League, that's a huge achievement.
Exactly.
Huge achievement.
Yeah, definitely.
There's definitely a lot of worse teams than them that their goal at the moment, at the very least, should be top half finish, which is very achievable.
Yeah,
of course.
If you're talking about a semi-European semi-final and a top 10 finish, that's as good as we get for a team that could have been relegated last year.
Yeah, absolutely. There is that chunk of Wolves, Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham. They're all within 2 points of each other. So there's a lot of chopping and changing throughout the rest of the season. But as for Nottingham Forest, touch quickly on them, lads. Rob, with you, just like I said, 2 points above relegation. They need to go and pick up results.
They need to go. I'm sick of them.
Yeah,
I liked them last year, but then when they beat us 2-1 in November or December, I was like, I'm sick of these guns, man. Get them out. They're going down swinging with financial fair play. They know they're going to get charged, so they're just going to go down. They're just going to be like, right, if we're going to get charged, we might as well fucking keep going and buy everyone who can. So they're dead right. I heard they're in for Mbappe now as well. Fuck them, they can go down. But cut the Forest down already.
Yeah, right.
McDonald's,
Right, predictions, so Johnny.
I think this got draw. I think 1-1 draw.
1-1. Rob?
2-1 West Ham.
All right, I think it's going to be two teams shite form, so probably going to go 2-2 draw. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, lads. Tottenham at home to Wolves. We've seen Tottenham snatch victory late on against Brighton in the last game. They'll be out for revenge against Wolves. What happened in the reverse fixture? Wolves snatching a late comeback. Johnny, yeah, we talked about once Spurs get their main hitters back, they'll start moving up the table. That's exactly what's going on. Madison's coming back, Son just back. He's still getting his minutes back again, but he's back from the Asia Cup. Richarlison's in a purple patch. They're doing well. They're doing very well again. They're up to fourth now. They're overtaking Villa. That's, I'd say, more down so to Aston Villa's poor form. But Tottenham are there. They're still going strong.
Yeah, and we felt this would happen once they got the players back. They were hit hard with injuries, like a couple of other clubs were. But we felt once the big hitters came back, they would be back swinging, and that's exactly what's happened. This isn't a surprise, I don't think. So with the run they brought, they're starting to look a bit like how they looked at the start of the season. Of course, still some kinks to iron out. There's still, maybe they won't get as good form as that again, but they might not have to. There's so many teams between fourth and 8th, we'd say. So no one can put together any real form. So there won't be a fantastic team. You don't have to be a fantastic team to get 4th spot this year.
All right, Rob. On the other hand, there we look at Wolves. They're away from this season. 5 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. So they're away from. You don't really know what you're going to get from them. But this is a game where they can kind of just go out and play their own game. Nice big open stadium, and they have one over on Spurs already this season. So you're going to think that they'll have nothing to lose, really.
Yeah, they won't lie down and take it anyways. They're not that type of team. I think we've had a bit of a romance with Wolves at times. We're almost expecting them to win nearly every game. The big letdown against Brentford, but that's still because the Ivan Toney show was still kind of going on. But look, they're not going to just be devastated by that big chance against Spurs, because Spurs do give chances away. And when the Spurs fans get on the Spurs players' backs, they feel the pressure the whole time. So, great opportunity for them. Wine coming back will be a huge boost, because that start of the season he bagged 5 or 6 goals, including the winner. Yeah, exactly. And Neto then came back from injury. He's done okay since come back from injury. But then you had Kuna as well, has popped up with a few goals. I think he's kind of come down a bit recently, but still, considering they haven't had their best two together in a long time properly, in Wang and Neto. So I'm expecting the good game. Hopefully they just keep it tight and don't let Spurs just ping around the fucking box. That's where the Spurs are at their best, between Kulusevski being able to turn in and head out to the touchline. He's very good technically, and then Madison just drifting around the 18-yard box. It's just, you can't just let them pass the ball around, because they will catch out.
Yeah, right. Go on for predictions then, Johnny.
2-1 Spurs.
Rob?
I think Spurs like to score goals. What Spurs actually have the most goals in their games. Obviously not them scoring, but the highest goals in their games. I can see it'd be annoying to say Wolves 2-1.
Very good. Yeah, we're going to say 2-1 Spurs as well. I just think players coming back, they're in good form. I just think they'll probably have too much for Wolves, but I hope I'm wrong. All right, on to the Etihad then. City at home to Chelsea, and probably the game of the weekend. City have won 6 in a row in the Premier League. They've won 13 out of the last 14 games in all competitions. We've seen Chelsea scraping out a win against Crystal Palace there on Monday. Johnny, start with you here. The last reverse fixture finished 4-4. I think there'll be lots of goals, but I think it'll be very one-sided. I can see a City winning this game.
Chelsea are fucking shit,
Yeah.
They're so bad.
They've been quietly ticking around. Yes, they're still out in 10th place.
No, they haven't.
They're still in the FA Cup. They're EFL Cup final.
But they're going back to what they've always been. They've always been a cup team historically. So that's just what they're going back to being, a mid-table cup team. So not that I have any real hate for Chelsea. It's just how they are, or where they are at the moment as a club. Yeah. City look like they're starting to tick along into title race form now. They do this time of year every year. They just kind of click into gear. With Chelsea, but there was a perfect storm. I remember watching the 4-4 game. It was a perfect storm that day. I think Pep maybe overthought it a bit, as Pep tends to do. But this time round, Chelsea are even worse than what they were at that time. And City are much, much better than what they were at that time. So I can only see a City win.
Yeah, Rob, anything to add with that? I think it's probably a straightforward City win.
Yeah, like it should be a straightforward City win, but City and Chelsea do have fairly close games, in fairness.
I mean, when it's not at the Etihad, they can be close. Chelsea haven't scored at the Etihad since May 2021, so 3 years almost since they scored at the Etihad.
It surely Chelsea won't show up because I fucking hate Chelsea, but we just like them to not do the world a favour and at least get a result out of City, or draw even will be fine. But I don't see it. I think Chelsea won 3 in a row now, but against fucking minnows like.
Really bad opposition.
You can't see anything other than De Bruyne get another assist or a goal for like another 2 or 3 will win City. Yeah, well, although City defensively haven't been keeping clean sheets, that's a big thing.
Yeah, there you go.
So you never know. Like that's the point of football. Like, sure, if you knew the results before they're going to happen, you wouldn't watch it. That's the beauty of it. 5:30 kickoff as well. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's surely a City win though.
Johnny, predictions?
3-1 City.
Rob?
Despite what I said about City not keeping clean sheets, I'm going to say 4-0 City.
I don't know, because Chelsea are, seem to be shy ahead. I'm going to say probably 4-0 City.
Can you ask, do you think if Chelsea get a hammering, will they pull the trigger and Poch?
No, I don't think so.
It'd be the wrong idea to do it after City.
City isn't the right time to do it.
Like you said, they're still going well in the cups. So, if...
That's it, yeah. Like, they can still literally win the FA Cup.
FA Cup win out of nothing, like.
That's true.
Like, if they can get maybe 6th or 7th and then win the Cup, that's not far off what we did last season.
Yeah, exactly. It's not bad. All right, next up, we're going to have Sheffield United at home to Brighton. Rob, start with you now. They met in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. Brighton won 5-2 overall. We've seen Sheffield United go to Luton Town and win 3-1 the other day, which is a fantastic result for them. And it was a good weekend for them, considering all the other teams around them in the relegation zone lost as well. A good weekend for Sheffield United. But it's a tough game for them. Even though it's at home again, they did put 2 past Brighton the last day, but conceded 5. So
that's the thing with Brighton. Like they're going to let you score, regardless how good or bad they're going to let you score. Just depends on if they're up for handing you the game altogether by just passing the ball to you from 20 yards out. But that was a big win away to Luton. I said it would be 2-1. It was 3-1. Was a good guess. Look, to be well up for it. If like, not just going to die now and just let everyone walk over them. And there's no better place to start getting more results than at home, despite the win away last week. So Brighton are the perfect team to probably play against in a way, because you're going to get chances. You're going to have, and it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, definitely, Johnny. Like that result the weekend for Sheffield will definitely pump them up for this game. And like Rob said, they're not going to want to just lie down and go down quietly. We did talk about them numerous times during the season, how they look a defeated side, but maybe they can go and put together a couple of decent results. Maybe not a couple of wins, but maybe a couple of draws here and there to stop the bleeding a little bit.
It's funny because we went in on them last week, so some of them boys, Ollie McBurney's watching. Ollie McBurney's watching.
But it keeps happening. We've done it. Burnley are the only ones that haven't picked up, because we did it to Bournemouth at the start. I think for 5 or 6 weeks in a row we hated on Bournemouth. Then they were the best team in the world.
They were unreal, but with Sheffield, look at, like, and I said it last week, they show nothing. They look like a team doomed. They showed it last week, regardless of the opposition. So at home, I mean, Brighton are a great team to come to town, because they'll give you the goal. Like, they'll just give you it. Like, there's go for it. Go on. Don't even ask. We know you want to go over and give you. You're pretty
much starting off with a 1-0 lead going against Brighton.
It's like the forfeit. It's like the thing of FIFA. Yeah, you can just get the goal.
It's just a matter of if you can keep them out.
But I do think it'll be a goal fest. Just because neither team knows how to defend. in fairness to Sheffield, they have got a couple of goals at times this season. So Brighton can score goals. They don't have an issue scoring goals.
Yeah.
It will be a goal fest. It'll be probably another hammer, and I think Brighton will probably give it to them again. Although, not to contradict myself, Sheffield showed last week, and Luton are a team probably better organised defensively maybe than Brighton, and they got 3 there, so you wouldn't know. I have no faith really in Brighton. But saying that, they'll be 6-0 to Brighton now.
Yeah, right. What's the prediction, so? Maybe down to
5-1 Brighton.
Right, Rob.
I'm gonna go with a 3-2 Sheffield win. I think there's not enough. Well, it's weird at Brighton. There's such a mixed bag. Everyone was so, hyped up to see them this year, especially Evan Ferguson. He's been riddled with injuries. The whole attack has just been like the whole team has been chopped and changed so much that I can't even name 10 Brighton players anymore because I don't know where they're all gone. And Matoma just hasn't been doing much. I know he's off at the Asia Cup, but even beforehand, he wasn't doing the business too often. Sheffield now, it's not too early for survival mode. We've seen worse teams or as bad teams, fight back in less time. So big 3 points last week at Luton. This could be a huge 3 points now, and make it a real dogfight down at the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 3-2 Sheffield would be nice.
Definitely. I'm going to know the opposite. I'm going to go 3-2 Brighton. I think, Brighton love conceding, love scoring. It's going to be a high-scoring game. All right, then. Kenilworth Road, Luton Town at home to Manchester United. Lads, we've seen, we're talking about informed teams like Arsenal, unbeaten since the start of the year. United are another one of those teams. 2024, they've done very, very well. They've won every game. And Luton off the back of that home defeat against Sheffield United, their confidence might be a little dented, you know what I mean? Like, they kind of look like they were maybe not comfortably going to avoid relegation, but they're still, that would have been a game that they would have looked at to kind of get them further away from relegation. Johnny, you can start with that one there. It's just kind of one of those teams like Luton Town. You don't know really what to expect of them, but at home you think that they're marginally a better side anyways.
At home to a big team, they've shown it this season.
Yeah.
It's a different ground when the big boys come to town. It just is. Liverpool have struggled. City struggled as well. Did Arsenal play there yet? The Arsenal play there.
Yeah, they won 4-3, last minute winner.
4-3, yes. Yeah. So like when the big teams come, that's where they come alive. Because they're massive games. These are games they were never going to have there. Like.
Yeah, it is a proper cup final. It's an atmosphere. It's a party, and it's one you want to get stuck in. It's what they would have dreamed of. All their fans would have dreamed of.
Yeah. Man United coming in.
Right.
So a lot of probably some of them are maybe second-hand fans of United or whatever, or any of them top teams, we say Liverpool fans or Arsenal or whichever. So they probably never thought to get this chance to see United coming into town. So this will be a massive game. Yeah. Form goes out the window here. We've seen it. Even in Old Trafford, they gave United a game. I know that was a different version of us earlier in the season. We are on a good run, even if at times not playing well. And we're still 50% playing well, 50% not so good, but we're much more solid now. A bit more of a spine back to the team, a bit more form. It's a lot more goodwill around the club, a much better vibe around the club with all the recent things going on behind the scenes with Sir Jim and the boardroom. So there's a much more optimistic vibe. Harry Maguire spoke during the week about it. It's just a breath of fresh air. They're playing like that as well. So we did this last season. We kind of willed ourselves into a bit of a winning streak, and next thing you know, we were 5, 6, 7, 8 games down the road. Out of nowhere, we put that one together.
Yeah, Rob. We talked about. We touched on, I suppose. United's win at Villa Park. There were. Not a lot of teams. I know Villa have been poor in recent games at home, but United went the first 60 minutes, especially. United were pretty dominant. They had much better chances. Hoyland is banging in goals. He's looking like a really top quality player. You can only get
still without getting the proper chances as well. He's still not being fed the ball, which is going to be so good to see when eventually he does get given more opportunities. Again, it was just that Maguire headed it and he drifted behind the defenders, and there was one Villa keeping him on.
Yeah. Sorry, Rob. I think he's working off still like one shot a game or two shots a game or less.
Absolute
so he's got
scraps.
50% conversion there. So his conversion rate is outrageous.
Yeah, his expected goals to goals ratio is still. I think it's 1-to-1 in terms of the percentage itself. But yeah, Garnacho on the right is such a brush of threat there because he can't turn in and shoot all the time that he wants. But it also gets his weak foot going. We went to Villa Park to win, to really play them off the park and to win. Should have, could have. I don't want to say should have, but probably could have scored 3 or 4 in the first 15, 20 minutes. It wouldn't be like us to do that anyways, but still. Luton,
yeah, that's why I touched on the point there. Yeah, he's played 19 games and he's only had 26 shots in 19 games. So not even 1.5 shots a game he's having. But he's 5 goals and 2 assists, so 7 goal contributions.
Five in the league, yeah. It's pretty good. Like how many has he snatched at as well? He's got a couple of offside goals as well, a couple of assists. But you can tell it's the whole mentality monster is creeping into the team. Like the defenders. I know Martinez was always the one who done it. He was the one who really brought it. But even since, like when he came back for the 2 games, straight away you get a block and goes after the corner. Even if like was a dead ball going nowhere and you still get the block, it's still shaking hands, fucking slapping each other's backs, all that shit. It's like properly get to it, and the attackers are at it now, big time. Yeah. And it's good. It's professional too. Like I think everyone wants to see. Most people want to see a good United team. So it brings back proper Barclays memories,
Barclays ball, baby.
Barclays ball.
Yeah.
And
right, lads.
Luton then as well, very suspect at the back, as they would be as a relegation team. They will concede goals. It's just about if United can just hold their bottle and just it's another game, but to be cautious but not overly cautious either. Like it's only Luton Town. Hopefully I don't look back and rue these words, but just get through it injury free, hopefully, and 3 points. There's no need for saying get 3 or 4 goals. It'd be nice, but just 3 points and no injuries would be lovely.
Yeah, right, Johnny. Predictions.
2-0 United.
Rob.
I'll go 3-0 United.
I can see Luton Town scoring. I'll go probably 3-1 United. I think their confidence are up. Luton Town confidence might be down a little bit, but yeah, like you said, it's going to be a cup final atmosphere. It's going to be a very, very tough game for United, but I think they'll run out comfortable winners in the end. All right, lads, the last game of the game week is going to be Everton at home to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, as the time of recording, they're in talks with a new manager, Oliver Glasner. Johnny, I don't know too much about this man. I don't know his background. Starting with you, though, this is a game that both teams desperately need to win. Everton are firmly in that relegation zone. We thought that they would go on after their points deduction. They went on a little run of winning games and they were doing very well, but all of a sudden they just hit a wall. They need to get results again.
Yeah, it's good old-fashioned relegation 6-pointer. We're into a time of season where every game is a big game that side of the table, They haven't been very good at home this season either, and it could be just new manager bounce coming into it. If I'm an Everton fan, I'm raging that they pulled the trigger this week. I'm surprised also that, if it so happened, I'm not sure what was the reports that he was ill or something, Roy Hudson. I'm not fully sure. However, if it's that they just pulled the trigger and he's sacked, to do it off a Chelsea loss, I'm not sure if that's, as we spoke earlier, I'd say Pochettino, losing to City isn't the game to do it. I don't know how losing to Chelsea then is the game to do it. But look, it's up to them. It's aggregation. It's not just one game.
Yeah.
2 poor teams. My bet would be to get Everton are on the verge the last couple of years. This is not a new team. We see it so many times. A team can only ride their luck so many times. They can only do it. You see it, everyone gets caught at the end of the day. So this is a huge game.
Yeah.
I really think if Everton lose this game, they're going to have to rely on possibly Luton or Forest really shitting the bed, because I think they're huge trouble.
Yeah. Rob, anything to add to that? Yeah, like Everton kind of just hit that wall.
As even the last few years, Everton, they just seem to vanish down to the relegation zone over the last years. Like they've been always top 8 team, 6th to 8th position, even 9th. All of a sudden they're just 15th and below. And
they spent money as well.
They have done it.
Andre Gomez, I know he's still at the club, but James Rodriguez came in, Dele Alli came in.
But they spent 2 months as title contenders 3 years ago under Carlo Ancelotti. That's crazy. When they had James Rodriguez, as I said, was it Allen as well they brought in for centre mid, Cameroon bagging the goals. But it'd be very, very strange to see them go down. Even though they're in the relegation zone for the last 2 to 3 years, it'd be very weird to see them go down.
I think think they're probably too good to go down, in my opinion.
They're still surely, like, considering Forest are yet to get their deduction, but surely that'll happen before the end of the season. So that'll put them down in the position. They are better than Luton. Luton are just making that cup final atmosphere against the bigger teams, which Everton aren't doing. This game has surely got a draw written all over it.
Yeah, right. Johnny, jump in there. Predictions.
1-0 Palace.
1-0 Palace. Oof. Rob.
I'm going to go with a dire 1-1.
1-1. This is the game we said would be 0-0 the last time. What was it, 3-2?
It's not really game. They're giving us so much shit about being the worst game.
I think it's going to be another one. It's going to be another 3-2, I think. It could be 3-2 Everton. I think it's going to be, they're going to have too much more. They have much more to play for, so I think they'll put.
No, I would like to see that, just to add another team into that shit show at the bottom.
Yeah.
Want to have 6 relegation teams? Let Chelsea go back down there again. Like 7. That's just the whole bottom half, because there is really good battles all over the table at the moment.
Well,
like the top 3.
Palace are 5 points above relegation. If you lose this game, obviously,
that brings it down a bit.
I'm for sure certain Sheffield United and Burnley going down. They're both
they're gone, so
7 points off relegation as we speak. Everton, there's Everton, Luton Town, Forest, and Palace. Realistically, maybe Brentford, who are 25 points. So realistically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in a relegation battle.
Yeah, which is great for one spot. It is very nice.
I do think Brentford cleared that just because of Ivan Toney.
Yeah, I think that's
just because of him. I think the other 4 100%. I think you're buying on the money.
Buying on it.
Yeah, but it does add to it. There is stuff going on everywhere. Like even where Chelsea are with Brighton and West Ham and Wolves and that. Even that's not set places. So. First to third is
all over the pitch. So they're all over the pitch, all over the table. At the bottom half, that mid-table, that weird 11th to 6th place.
Yeah, well, that's usually just a twilight zone. Like no one knows what's going on. Like same with 10th to 14th as well. Like it's generally just it's nothing. Like no one cares. But now it's fun. Like there is little battles going on all over the war, and it's very entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining indeed. All right, lads, that's going to do it for us here on the Party Football Podcast. Johnny, Rob, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Also, thank you so much for viewing the episode. If you do like what you've seen, I'm going to do an intro again. I kind of fucking messed it up.
Intro.
Outro, whatever. All right.
That'll do.
Why'd you have to mess it up? Rob, let's wrap it up.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant you were going to do it yourself.
All right, so that's going to do it for us here on the Party Football Podcast. Rob, Johnny, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you also for tuning in this evening. I also get fucking hell.
Right, you
ready?
Yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for us. All right, so that's going to do it for us here on the Party Football Podcast. Johnny and Rob, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Do let us know down in the comments your thoughts for match week 25 in the Premier League. Also, do please subscribe to the channel, as it really does help us out. So, we'll see you back here next week for another episode of the Party Football Podcast.